Well, hello there. I didn't hear you come up on me. I was just doing some panning. Not much gold up in these hills, but look at here. Coal. What a beaut. Who could think something so small and insignificant could bring such major change to the great state of Washington? Coal, the Firestone of the West. Coal, the Firestone of the West. Imagine this humble valley, which is now a recreational camp, was once a coal mine. This, in fact, is a dynamite shack. One of the last remaining buildings from said coal mine. Now, the East Creek Coal Company settled this valley nigh on over 70 years ago. They had a successful mine for years and years in this great valley until a flood occurred, wiping out the whole mine town. And then a fire devastated the mine. And then the coal shaft collapsed, indubitably making the mine close. Now the East Creek Coal Company is a beautiful metaphor for the coal mining industry in Washington State. Except the flood, that is hippie mine builded hydroelectric power. And the fire is heathen petroleum products being used in place of coal in the railroad industry. And the collapsing mine shaft is hippies with their backwards thinking closing all the power plants powered by coal because it burns. Now let me take you back to a better time, a time when coal was king. Why? Coal. Now what is it? How do we tap into its magical properties? Now the Californians, you knew how to use it. They used it to feed their iron horses and heat their homes. And if you ask me, California's hot enough. Now the wizards of California had high demand for coal, and us, the industrious knights of Washington, gave it to them in abundance. Now the coal mining industry in Washington was at its peak, and coal mines were spreading up across the land like weeds. Everywhere you went, there was a coal mine. And for every mine that sprung up from the ground, so did a city out of the ashes of coal, like a mighty phoenix being reborn from distant off Araby. Cities like Bellingham, Issaquah, Renton, Newcastle, Roslyn, Cleveland, Newcastle, Black Diamond, to list a few. All in all, 230 mines sprung up in Washington State. And for each mine that sprung up jobs sprung up, money sprung up, tax-paying dollars sprung up to help form this country into the country that it is today. I get passionate about it. Now the Chinese dragon from the mystical Orient, which is California, was poisoned. Poisoned in the early 1910s by petroleum products, which is one of Lucifer's many-faced lieutenants, which deceived them, and the trains will run on diesel and not clean American-mined coal. California was no longer a state to be traded with. The industries there, the demand that it once had, was gone. The wizards of California had no more need for our coal. Now the loss of California devastated the coal mining industry in Washington. They had no longer this great cash cow of a country, or state as some call it, to sell their coal to. But we kept on. The coal industry did not die. It kept chugging on like the previous stated iron horses run on diesel. The industry moved on. It possibly could have survived, made several attempts to gasiate coal, to liquefy coal, but those methods were too expensive. But they were still using coal as its one last viable use to power plants. But the cruel and fickle mistress that is fate was not done with the coal industry. Oh Lord, it was not done. It still had to bite away at the coal industry. And hippies invaded Washington with ideas from President Roosevelt of building hydroelectric dams to re-stimulate the economy. Hydroelectric dams spurred up everywhere, like this and like that, all over the place. Hydroelectric dams were growing like weeds. And with that, coal was no longer as useful a power source. And yet again, the industry suffered. This, up here, look at me. This, my viewers, was the beginning of the end. Now, the loss of coal as a power source took us very hard, but we still worked. We still mined, and we still had power plants. Just a lot less of them, but we still had some of them. In 1975, the last underground mine closed in Washington State. A hard blow, but we still hold on to our core values and mined in open-face pits and powered the Centralia power plant, which went on for another 31 years until it was closed in 2006. This was the death of coal in Washington. The once prime industry was dead as the Centralia power plant closed on December 6th. And as it closed, the coal industry died. And a piece of me, a piece of my heart, died as well, America. And so the coal remains beneath our feet, waiting for a gentler age to have use for it. And I pray, I pray that my grandchildren can see such a day where coal is yet again the Firestone of the West.
Action.
Now, is this cross-eyed thing too much?
No.
No?
No.
Okay, how noticeable is it?